In June 1914, a 19-year-old Bosnian student fired 2 bullets in Sarajevo. History books tell you those bullets caused World War I. That's a lie. Those bullets were just the spark. The real explosives were already stacked across Europe. What actually caused World War I was a collapsing global order, where empires were trapped by money, fear, pride, and technology. 1914 wasn't an accident, it was a system failure. 1. Europe was already at war. It just hadn't started shooting yet. By 1900, Europe was not peaceful. It was a pressure cooker. Britain ruled the seas. Germany dominated industry. Russia controlled manpower. France wanted revenge. Austria-Hungary was falling apart. The Ottoman Empire was dying. Every power knew one thing: if you don't expand, you fall. This was the age of zero-sum geopolitics. If Germany built factories, Britain felt threatened. If Russia built railways, Austria panicked. If France built alliances, Germany encircled itself. No one trusted anyone. So they did what insecure powers always do. They armed up. By 1914, Europe had more soldiers, more artillery, and more war plans than at any point in human history. They called it peace. It wasn't peace. It was a loaded gun on every border. 2. The real weapon was the railway, not the rifle. Here's something history books don't emphasize. World War I was not decided by generals. It was decided by train timetables. Germany's entire war plan, the famous Schlieffen Plan, was built on one assumption. If war starts, Germany must strike France before Russia finishes mobilizing. Why? Because Russia was slow. Germany believed it had about 6 weeks before Russian troops could move. So Germany built a railway-driven war machine. Millions of soldiers scheduled like clockwork. Every bridge, every track, every station timed to the minute. Once those trains started moving, they could not be stopped. This meant something terrifying. Mobilization equals declaration of war. When Russia began mobilizing to defend Serbia, Germany interpreted it as a death sentence. So Germany mobilized. So France mobilized. So Britain mobilized. Nobody wanted total war, but nobody could afford to stop. The machine was running. 3. The Balkans were the tinderbox, but the fire was global. The Balkans weren't important because of nationalism. They were important because they sat on empire's fault lines. Austria-Hungary was an old empire trying to control young nations. Russia saw itself as the protector of Slavic peoples. The Ottomans were losing territory. Germany needed Austria as its only reliable ally. Serbia was small. But Serbia was dangerous. Not militarily, symbolically. If Slavic nationalism succeeded in Serbia, it would tear Austria-Hungary apart from the inside. So when Archduke Franz Ferdinand was assassinated, Austria didn't just see a murder. It saw the beginning of its own death. And Germany told Austria, "Do it. We will back you." That was the blank check. From that moment, war was no longer avoidable. 4. Britain entered the war for one reason: fear of German control. Britain didn't care about Serbia. Britain didn't even really care about France. Britain cared about one thing: no single power must dominate Europe. Because whoever controls Europe controls global trade, finance, and oceans. Germany was building the largest army in Europe, the second largest navy, the most advanced industry. If Germany crushed France and controlled Belgium's ports, Britain's empire would become vulnerable. So when Germany crossed into Belgium, Britain didn't defend Belgium. It defended its future. 5. The war nobody could stop. Once it started, World War I became something no government could control. Leaders thought it would last months. It lasted 4 years. Because industrial warfare had changed everything. Machine guns turned open fields into slaughterhouses. Artillery erased entire towns. Trenches became mass graves. Yet every side kept going. Why? Because by 1915, stopping meant collapse. Governments had borrowed money. Industries were converted to weapons. Millions were mobilized. If you quit, your economy dies. If you lose, your empire ends. So they kept feeding the machine. 6. The true tragedy: World War I didn't just kill 20 million people. It destroyed 4 empires: German, Russian, Austro-Hungarian, Ottoman. And it created a broken peace, a humiliated Germany, a radicalized Russia, a weakened Europe, a resentful Middle East. World War II wasn't a new war, it was World War I, unfinished, final truth. World War I was not madness, it was logic. Cold, mechanical, system-driven logic. When alliances lock in, when arms races spiral, when fear replaces trust, the world doesn't choose war, it slides into it. Just like 1914.